as a high performer, you need three things. You need your clarity, you need energy, mental and physical energy, and you need focus.
First thing you could do to start on your health journey is number one, eat breakfast. It has to be a balanced breakfast. You have to have the appropriate ratio of carbs, fat, and protein in order to keep your blood sugar stabilized. People come to me and they're like, is it going to get worse before it gets better? Because if so, I don't want to do this. And I say, I don't know if you're going to get worse before you get better, but my treatment isn't going to.
Here is something you need to hear. You're not lazy. You're just misaligned. I'm Kepo. I help high performers get unstuck by taking bold, aligned action. And this is Grow With Kepo, where we speak with influential trailblazers who've made their mark and found the clarity that changed their lives. This is where we get clear, realign, and move toward a life that actually feels like yours. Welcome to the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special guest episode show. I am so excited about this one. I know I say that about all the shows, but guys, I bring joy to the joyless things, but this is actually a lot of joy. And the reason I'm excited about this is because we are going to be busting some myths. I cannot wait for you to meet our special guest. We're going to be talking about how to actually really improve your clarity, energy, and focus to get things done in life and design the life that you really want. And hi, Robin. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So by way of introduction, everybody, Robin Barrie Kaiden, she's one of the nation's leading experts in personal wellness, nutrition, physical fitness, and weight loss, and skin health. Robin works with various clients ranging from infants through adolescents all the way to adulthood. I am actually one of her clients, believe it or not. We'll get into that later on in the show. And her focus areas include nutrition counseling, personal training, virtual services, weight loss, weight gain, online programming, supplements, and many other things. I'm really excited to get into today's topic, because I think something that is a burning desire for me is to bust some myths, right? A lot of people who want to be high performers or high performers, they have some beliefs that are just not true when it comes to optimizing your health. And that is all of the things that we're going to be getting into in this show. And Robin is going to help us to bust those myths so that you can stop living with trusted bad advice. Let me say this to you all. The only thing worse than bad advice is trusted bad advice. And a lot of the myths that you believe are probably from things that you read online. Just because somebody slapped something on Google doesn't mean they're correct, or something that your trusted friend or family member told you. But here I'm bringing an expert to you. So ears up, eyes open, watch and listen. So very quickly, Robin, just tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into this whole health journey.
Sure. So I'm a registered dietitian. I have 25 years experience doing this. I went to Cornell and Columbia for undergrad and grad school. I studied nutrition and exercise science. The reason I got into nutrition was actually because my mother was undiagnosed with parasites for 10 years before she had kids. She went to every doctor on the planet, every health nut, and learned so much about health and nutrition until she was finally diagnosed with parasites. But that left her with a really unhealthy gut, which took her years to figure out and heal. But in the meantime, in raising us kids, she always fed us super healthy because she learned the hard way. So that's how I got into it. I was also a dancer growing up, always very active and into health and into medicine. I was actually pre-med undergrad, but I was really into the nutrition aspect of everything. So that's how I ended up here.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. And, you said you were pre-med, right? You could have gone.
It was pre-med.
Yeah. You could have gone and done, the traditional, full on modern medicine. Mm-hmm. But I know even from working with you, you don't just go and just treat the symptoms, right?
Yes.
No, I love doctors. Doctors are great. And please go to a doctor if you have an issue.
Absolutely.
But there is something about treating the symptom versus going to the actual root cause. So what would you say informed, apart from your mom's story? And thank you for sharing that, by the way.
Of course.
And I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. Maybe they don't even know that they are walking around with a lot of parasites and all those things.
Yeah, they're more common and more easily diagnosed, but still not in traditional medicine necessarily. So they're still hard to get if you're not going to an integrative or functional practitioner like myself or somebody else.
Was there any other thing that informed your decision to focus on that, like functional nutrition, which is really, going to the root cause, apart from, your mom's story, for example?
Yeah. So when I was in undergrad, it was a pretty traditional nutrition education, learning about proteins, carbs, and fats, and exercise, and vitamins and minerals, which is the foundation of nutrition. And grad school, I felt, was like a repeat for me. But I didn't learn until I was on the job and helping people and taking continuing ed courses and meeting other practitioners. Didn't really learn about root cause and minerals and vitamins and all the other, the holistic approach. I mean, I definitely lived, ate, and breathed a holistic approach because I was a personal trainer and a nutritionist. I believe that both were important, but I definitely got into more of the functional and holistic type of treatment later in my career. It probably started, so I worked in the hospitals as a hospital dietitian, and that was pretty basic. I mean, it wasn't basic working with cancer patients in the ICU. There was some challenging cases that required a registered dietitian's expertise, but just treating the average human who wasn't hospitalized, but getting to their root cause, it was, sometimes a mystery and what could I do more of? And I just kind of learned along the way with taking my own continuing ed courses and learning from other practitioners and just following research, and I kind of forged my own way.
Thanks for sharing that. I'm curious, you said when it comes to those people who are not basically under intensive care, right? It's a mystery. So what are some of the common symptoms that people tend to just accept as part of life? That is something that they should actually look into, that might be, be caused by fungi or parasites or some kind of, bacteria in their gut, for example.
So it could be inability to lose or gain weight. Something's definitely going on if that's the case. Brain fog, constant brain fog, inability to concentrate, things like that, constant bloating, GI distress, a lot of stomach ache, and of course skin, because I do acne, eczema, psoriasis, any skin condition. Any of the above that I just mentioned, there's usually an underlying root cause or multiple underlying root causes that you have to treat in order to feel better.
Yeah. And honestly, as someone that has worked with you, and I'm still working with you actually, to clear my own skin, I can 100% testify that what Robin is saying is just pure fact. If you are somebody who maybe as a high performer, you want to be a high performer, you need three things, right? You need your clarity, you need energy, mental and physical energy, and you need focus. What Robin is telling us is sometimes you could have all the great habits in this world, get up and do all your affirmations and meditations. But it sounds like Robin here is saying that there might be some underlying issues, right? That you don't even know that might be causing brain fog, causing you to be sluggish and all of that. So where would one start from? If they were presenting any of these symptoms, like they can't sleep well, for example, they're bloated. And when you're bloated, maybe because of that, you don't have as much energy. Let's unpack that a little more. How they can test for those issues and maybe just unpack more of what that actually feels like in their day-to-day life.
So first things first, when I work with any client, we start with the basics. And that means I talk about when do you wake up, when you go to sleep, how much water do you drink? Do you exercise? And what are you eating? And maybe what supplements you're taking and what medications you're taking. So that's the baseline. And people don't realize how important the baseline is, because think about your car. Your car needs fuel, right? It can go on regular fuel, but if you have a diesel engine or a sports car engine, you need specific fuel. So we start with the fuel, the macronutrients, proteins, carbs, fats, and how much you need and when you should be eating them. So I know that like intermittent fasting is really popular, but I personally don't like intermittent fasting, because you have an engine, you have a brain, you have a body that needs to work as soon as you wake up. Not providing your brain and your body with fuel in the morning is a mistake. So first thing you could do to start on your health journey is, number one, eat breakfast. Number two, it has to be a balanced breakfast. You have to have the appropriate ratio of carbs, fat, and protein in order to keep your blood sugar stabilized, which will dictate hormones, and hormones dictate a lot of other things, and keep you going to fuel your brain and body until the next meal. So that's a basic that a lot of people don't take care of. Coffee and maybe a muffin, or coffee and a banana, and they think they're good to go, but that is not ideal. So that's one of the basics that I start with. And same with lunch. I mean, a lot of busy professionals going out to eat. Well, what are you eating? A lot of people are going out to eat. What are you getting off the menu? If you're having a burger and fries and shake, that's not going to sustain you and keep you clear the rest of the afternoon. And are you snacking? If you're going multiple hours between meals, like if you're going more than like 4 to 6 hours between your meals, you're going to need your snack again to keep your brain and your body functioning. And then dinner. A lot of people, especially Americans, I don't know who's listening out there, but we do typically bottom heavy eating. And what that is, it's like the typical American diet. So imagine a pyramid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people eat little or no breakfast, maybe a little bit more calories for lunch, and then the rest of the calories come at dinner. So bottom heavy eating, bottom of the day, that's when you're having your drinks, your appetizers, your extras, your desserts. And then what happens at the end of the day? You go to sleep. So all those excess calories that you're placing at the bottom of your day, your body doesn't need them then. Your body needs them more at the beginning of the day. So I like to teach a more rectangular approach to meal scheduling, maybe like 4 separate eating times, but equal in calories. That's where I start.
Wow. That is just the start. I love this. And you've already given us so much gold. Okay. You hit on something that I know a lot of listeners and watchers are like, what? Which is the intermittent fasting. Mm-hmm. I want to talk more about that so that it really hits home, especially coming from an expert, you all, because I'm also learning as well. And then number 2, this culture of, I just need my coffee first thing in the morning.
You can have your coffee, but have it with or after your breakfast.
Why?
Because you don't want to spike your cortisol and then crash. That's what happens if you have your coffee first. We do have a natural cortisol spike in the morning, but we don't want it to spike real high and then crash. We want the normal increase and then the steady decline. That's how it's supposed to go.
Right. And I found that at least some of the people that I talk to, what happens is they go for the next cup of coffee, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of actually addressing the main problem. Mm-hmm. So what about the intermittent fasting? Because you touched on that, and I know that a lot of people skip breakfast. It's like, oh, I'm not a breakfast person.
I promise anyone that says that if they try it, they'll find that it works. So here's what happens. If you skip breakfast, it's really hard to, number one, everyone's talking about protein these days. So it's really tough to get enough protein to begin with. A lot of people have trouble doing that. But if you're skipping an entire meal, how are you getting your protein? Are you going to have it in a snack? Maybe. And then what also happens is you skip breakfast, you eat lunch, and then you're starving. So again, that leads to that pyramid eating. It's really hard to get your nutrients where you're supposed to if you're not eating that first meal. Because then your body will tell you, like, I'm starving, but your body's not going to be like, I'm starving for my 500 calories. Your body's going to just be like, I'm starving. And before you know it, you're into a bag of chips and you're finishing a bag of chips. And it's not balanced and wrong nutrients and just not healthy food, not the good fuel that your body needs.
Right. And so sometimes what I'm even hearing from that is, for example, in the bag of chips example, maybe you don't have a snacking problem. Maybe you just have a not eating well and enough, or you have a no breakfast problem, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I want to go even a touch deeper into that. Maybe talk about the other people who just, it's not even pyramid. They just, maybe we should call it pencil because they just eat throughout.
They just don't eat. Okay.
Yeah. Because people, at least what I've heard, and you can tell me because you've worked with thousands of people, what is the general thing around this whole, if I want to lose weight, right? I want to lose weight. I'm trying to burn my belly fat. That means I need to eat less, exercise more. And then people just end up not eating enough at all. They don't even do the pyramid stuff. They just, I don't know what.
That's another extreme. Yes.
Yeah. So can we talk about what you've seen in that area and how it relates to the amount of focus and energy that they can even have if they live on that kind of diet?
Sure. So if we're talking about younger people in their 20s, most people in their 20s, if they eat a little bit less and exercise, they can lose the weight, right? If we're talking about women around late 30s and older, we hit the big P, the big perimenopause. It's a big buzzword today, but it is actually a thing. You could absolutely change nothing and start gaining weight and you're not going to be able to lose it. Because it's just that your hormones are shifting and your body's reacting differently.
Wow.
So putting that aside, that's a whole nother topic we could unpack or we could put in another podcast. But let's just talk about the purely not eating enough. What happens is you spike your cortisol, you put your body in a state of inflammation, and you can't, two things. Either you're going to lose weight, you're not going to have enough nutrition, and you're not going to be able to function highly like you would like to. So there's that. There's also, you're going to not lose weight and still you're not going to be able to function because your body's in a state of inflammation. Your cortisol is up. Your body's inflamed. It's going to hold on to all that weight because it's kind of like a fight or flight response. And it doesn't know when the next food is coming. It's kind of like a ancestral process to protect us. Like, when we were hunters and gatherers and a tiger was chasing us and we had to move and we didn't know what our bodies didn't know when the next food was coming. So it's going to hold on to that weight as a protective mechanism. But it's not so protective in this day and age when food is readily available at all times. So you don't want to do that to your body. Under eating is a stressor on the body and can actually keep weight on. I know it's counterintuitive, but that happens a lot.
Wow. I hope you're all listening to this because even I personally, in my life, I know some people who they tell me what they eat. Like, what did you have for lunch? Oh, I had Greek yogurt and blueberries. Like, what? That's all you had for lunch?
It's not even a breakfast. I mean, maybe that's 250 calories. So imagine you had 3 meals a day at 250 calories. That's 750 calories for the day. That's no way near enough calories for an adult human to survive.
Tell us about how these types of habits affect sleep. Because I know that is something that comes up quite a bit, the whole sleep versus food, but I want to learn more from you about that.
I don't like intermittent fasting, but I do like gut rest. And that happens, letting your gut rest overnight because, there's a period for being awake. So I base everything on the circadian rhythm, right? If the sun comes up, you wake up, you should be eating. When the sun goes down and you're winding down for the evening, you're not using a lot of calories in the evening, you should not be eating. And for our guts to be healthy, they need to rest and reset overnight, just like we need to rest and reset overnight. So I recommend, because your body's not digesting food while you're sleeping. So 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, you should stop eating. That's what I recommend. So Sure, if you eat dinner, let's say at 6 or 7 o'clock and you go to bed at 10, that's great. So, and if you're not eating breakfast again until 7, there you've got your 12 hours of fasting, which is great. So that is the fast I believe in, the overnight fast. And that's why breakfast, you break the fast. Yeah, you break the fast with breakfast. So that's my recommendation on eating and sleeping. But if you're not getting the right nutrients, your body's going to be stressed and your body can't relax. And you may not be getting enough micronutrients and you're just tired and wired. I'm sure you've heard that term. Stressed out, your body's tired, you're awake and thinking, and you can't relax because you're just literally a ball of stress. And not getting the right nutrition and nutrients can add to that, exacerbate it, make sleeplessness worse.
Is that why some of us wake up, like we go to bed and then we just get up at 2 in the morning and we just can't sleep? Like we're wired and tired. It's not like we're not sleepy. We're sleepy.
Yeah, you may be missing some micronutrients. Magnesium is a huge issue and a huge problem. So magnesium used to be found in our produce because magnesium is in the ground and produce grows in the ground. And at least Americans, we used to have good magnesium in our food supply. But here, because everything's so over-farmed, just about everyone's deficient in magnesium. So taking magnesium after dinner before bed is something that people have told me is a life changer, game changer, super saver, and can help you sleep.
There are different magnesiums, right?
Yeah,
which one?
There's different types of magnesiums. Magnesium glycinate is kind of the calming version that can help you sleep. However, if you have anything going on with gut health and constipation and digestive issues, I recommend magnesium citrate because that helps with digestion. If you're experiencing both, sometimes I combine the two. You have to treat the body as a whole. We pick and choose. But general recommendation, magnesium glycinate, 1 to 2 capsules before bed should be helpful. 1 to 3, actually, if they're like 150 milligram capsules. So magnesium isn't a medication. And it also kind of builds up in your body over time. So anytime after dinner, it's not, like I said, it's not going to make you pass out. It's not even like melatonin. It's not going to make you sleepy. It's just a mineral that a lot of people aren't getting enough of. And by adding it, it can help with your sleep.
What about people who don't go to bed until midnight, for example, or 1 a.m. because sometimes work just calls for such long hours, right? How do they manage?
There's a lot of studies on sleep. And one thing you definitely need is at least 6 hours of sleep, or else it can affect your weight. So anyone who wants to lose weight or is gaining weight, if you're not sleeping for at least 6 hours, that can be the culprit. I've also seen other research that if you're up for more than 2 hours after 10 p.m., it's just not ideal, and it can affect everything. So sleep is so, so, so important. I can't stress that enough. I get it because I'm a night owl, and as a busy working mom, I really like the evening time when everyone's quiet and sleeping. Like I watch TV, unwind, read a little bit, but I'm always fighting the clock. It's like, oh my God, what time is it? I have to go to bed. I have to go to bed. And I know I have to go to bed because it's really, really, really hard. And I'm not the type of person that really is good waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. But I'm thinking I may have to because that would still give me the quiet time and nobody bothering me. And it won't be me staying up too many hours after 10 p.m. It's really, really tough. It is, but it's so important, and you really should be going to bed at least before 11:30, 12, because people that stay up till midnight, their bodies start to work like shift workers. And when I tell you shift workers that work the evening shift have a really tough time getting their health to top notch and in check, because our bodies, again, I mentioned earlier, the circadian rhythm, our bodies are supposed to wake up with the sun and go to bed, wind down when the sun goes down. Now, if you're doing the opposite, it's really confusing and it's really tough to meet your goals and stabilize your hormones and get all your sleep in and get all your meals in, it's really difficult.
Hey, quick break. I want to invite you to something powerful. If you're a high-achieving professional who feels burnt out, stuck, or like you've checked all the boxes but still feel unfulfilled, I've been there. That's why I offer free strategy sessions to help you reconnect with purpose and get clear on your next bold move. I would love to support you. Just hit the link in the description to book your call. Now, back to the episode. And how does that affect mental energy and focus?
When you're a night shift person or when you don't get enough sleep?
Well, when you don't get enough sleep, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm good. I've been getting 5 hours of sleep every day as an adult. I'm fine. I'm functioning well. And I'm like,
I think there comes a point where it catches up to you. I do think that some people need more sleep with others. I've seen it with clients and friends. Like some people just need like 10 hours of sleep. I think 7, 8 is more ideal and sufficient, but it's going to catch up with you. Your body needs to heal and restore and sleep. Our bodies were made to sleep. That's why we do it. And 5 hours just isn't enough. Like I said, minimum 6, but 7, 8 is probably better.
And in what ways will it catch up with us as adults? Like, what are the symptoms that you've seen in people?
Yeah, like I said, weight gain, brain fog, just not feeling well, increased hunger, decreased hunger. It affects your hormones, affects your digestion, it can affect everything.
Are there any long-term health risks as well? Like high blood pressure, anything like, or is it a myth again that maybe they're not all that connected?
It's not, I think it depends on the person. Like if high blood pressure and high cholesterol doesn't run in your family, I mean, you're just not the type of person that's going to get that. It may not happen. It just, if you're not resting and restoring your body, things could happen. It depends on everything else that's going on, all the other factors in your life.
Okay. So usually, when I listen to podcasts like this, sometimes I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed. Like, at what point do I get to all these things and optimize all of these things before I even get to laundry and I have to do my dishes and I have to actually do my work and I'm building a side hustle? Like, what do you tell your clients? What are the main, 3 to 5 big hitters? Like, okay, if you can do these things, everything else will follow.
I work with people that have to make changes in their lives, right? It takes 21 days to officially form a habit and change. So you just got to start somewhere. And when I work with my clients, I also tell them if you change one thing per week or one thing per session, like from when you meet with me, then meet with me again, I'm happy because change is hard. So with regards to everything we just talked about, the couple things that need to change in a lot of people's lives is number 1, eat 3 balanced meals a day. Definitely easier said than done because there's a lot that's involved in getting the right food 3 times a day and making sure it's balanced. So, but that's a priority. Number 2 is definitely sleep. Sleep's up there. Your body needs to restore. And number 3 is water. We're made up of 70-75% water. If you're not drinking enough, the cells in your body just aren't going to work. So a lot of people walk around dehydrated, and it's really important to stay hydrated too.
Not me drinking my water, but do you have more?
Exactly. I don't have mine right next to me right now, but I walk around with a bottle, and that's something most people can do, but you can't just walk around with a bottle because it shouldn't be plastic. Because that's a whole other realm that we can get into.
Oops.
If you're using a plastic?
Yes.
Oh, well, we have to work on that. Plastics are forever chemicals that can do terrible things to your body and the environment and the planet. So we really want to stick to glass or metal. They're just safer materials. Yeah. Because basically microplastics can leach into the water that you're drinking and you're putting them into your body.
Okay. It looks like I'm going to have to change my water bottle soon.
Yeah.
Well,
actually,
okay.
I just was quoted in an article recently about toxins in our environment. I will put that up there soon. So
okay.
anyone in the audience can check it out because the world is so toxic. Don't even get me started. But yeah, keeping the products that you put next to your food or that you cook your food in is so important as well. So just decreasing plastic is really important.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I didn't even, Shots fired. Shots fired.
Oh no. And maybe in our next session we need to discuss plastics and
Yeah.
microplastics and toxins in your environment.
We'll go deeper for sure.
Yeah.
So, about this water thing, I was having a conversation with a friend just a few days ago, and he was telling me how, because I try to drink a gallon of water a day, and it was like, Kepo, sometimes you're drinking too much water that you're diluting, your electrolytes or digestive enzymes, depending on the climate or weather or whatever of where we live, how much electrolytes should we have in our water, or how much water should we be drinking? Because there's so much out there. Some say, 2 liters. Some say your weight in pounds. I mean, please help us out.
My general recommendations for the average person are 2 to 3 liters. More likely 2, because most people these days do exercise and sweat, and you need to replenish when you sweat. But half your body weight in water. But then again, it's person specific, depending on your exercise and your climate and everything. Electrolytes are important if you're sweating a lot, or if you're sick. You lose electrolytes if you're sick. You lose electrolytes in sweat. But again, going back to our soil is not ideal. Our food supply is not ideal. And again, we're not getting enough sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium in our diet. So replacing electrolytes is pretty important, especially for women heading into perimenopause.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or late 30s and older. Yeah, it's really important to really hone in. That's one of the things it's a good idea to hone into.
Oh, I didn't know that. Why is that?
Hormones change everything. Digestion, metabolism, everything.
I'm going to get electrolytes because, to be honest, I haven't really been using that recently, or at least this year. And I definitely need to get, because I am that woman in her 30s. Okay. So there's some other things that I want to quickly get into, because I know that a lot of the people listening, they consider themselves high achievers, high performers. And there is something to be said about gut health, right? And I know that we've touched a lot on different things. In the beginning, we started with parasites and all of that. And I still have that question for you about how to get tested. Where should they go? What should they do? So can we go a little deeper into gut health and how it actually just affects everything? I've even heard in some places how the gut is actually the second brain of the body.
All right, let's start with number 1. Normal digestion and normal bowel movements. It's such an important topic because it's not discussed, but our gut helps us is a detox center of our body. And things that come in have to come out. And if they're toxic, they really need to leave. So going to the bathroom 1 to 3 times a day, having solid bowel movements is normal. Anything other than that is not normal, and it's a sign that there's a problem. I've had clients come to me on all spectrums of that. I've had clients come to me and say, I have explosive diarrhea after every meal, but I thought it was normal because my whole family experiences the same thing. That is not normal. You're not absorbing your food. You're not absorbing water. You are going to suffer the consequences of that. Number 2, I go to the bathroom once a week. I'm never hungry. Well, if your intestines are literally filled to the brim with toxins and they aren't leaving your body, there's no room for more food. You're literally filled up. So that is not normal. If anyone listening has either of those symptoms, it's really not normal. And then things run the gamut in between. Some people have both constipation and diarrhea. Some people go to the bathroom every other day, which they think is fine, but really it's not. It's not good enough. The toxins in your body need to be eliminated at least once a day. So let's start there. So what I do functional gut health testing. It's a GI map stool test. And the testing that I do, you can find out so much. You can find out if you have any bad bacteria. Is any of it overgrown? You can find out if you have good bacteria. That can be overgrown as well. Or you can be limited in the amount that you have and you don't have enough good bacteria. That can happen if you're not eating enough fiber and fruits and vegetables. You may not have enough good bacteria. It also looks for things like a leaky gut, which literally a leaky gut can just make you really uncomfortable, and it's like imagine a hose with holes in it. It can make you think you're temporarily sensitive or allergic to certain foods that you're usually not. Can make you bloated. It can change your bowel movements. So having a leaky gut is not a good thing. The test also tells me if you have enough digestive enzymes in your body for digesting your food. It tells me if you're sensitive to gluten. It will also tell me if there's candida in your body that needs to be checked out and eliminated. So there's so many things that this test, it tells if there's inflammation. Test tells me so much and allows me to help people on a deeper root cause level.
I honestly, I told you earlier in this show that I am Robin's client. I'm going to put up my before and after for my skin. And if you're looking at it, you see like, what in the world? Like, I went to so many different people, at first I thought it was just a topical problem. Oh, I'm just breaking out. I just have acne scars. I just want to clear a few scars. But I didn't know that my gut was actually just trying to tell me something. And then I was fortunate enough to meet Robin, and we did this GI map test. We did the oat test, and it was a revelation, the things that are in my gut. And when we started clearing it out, it was one of those situations where it gets worse before it gets better, because that stuff needs to come out of you somehow.
Well, let's take a step back here.
Yeah, go on.
It doesn't always get worse before it gets better. That's not the case. What happened was, if you don't mind me saying, you went through travel and stress. That's why it got worse. It wasn't my treatment that made you worse. So let's put that out there.
Yes, no, absolutely. Okay, yes.
You got worse before you got better, but for reasons that didn't have to do with my treatment.
Okay. Point taken, point corrected.
No, literally, people come to me and they're like, is it going to get worse before it gets better? Because if so, I don't want to do this. And I say, I don't know if you're going to get worse before you get better, but my treatment isn't going to necessarily make you worse before you get better. Because the skin and overall health, as we're talking, you can see that there's so many external and internal factors that lead to just in general overall health. Whether it's skin health, whether it's body health, whether it's brain health, there's so many factors. It's what's in our environment. It's what you're putting directly on your body. It's indirectly affecting your body. It's what you eat. It's how you sleep. Exercise, which we didn't touch on, which we can if you'd like. But there's so many different factors that absolutely affect overall well-being and overall health. And like you said, it feels overwhelming. You have to get to the gym. You have to use the right products. You have to sleep right. You have to eat right. And yes, it can get overwhelming and exhausting. But again, like I said, we start with the basics. And if you have someone like me to kind of hold your hand and lead you through everything, it definitely makes it easier and more manageable. And you kind of hit one thing at a time and you work on it slowly.
The moral of this is, for you who are listening, take an inventory of your day, your life, your sleep, all these things, and how you're showing up at work, how you're showing up in life in general. What are the symptoms that are presenting for you? For me, it was my skin. For me, it was poor
your skin was screaming out and telling you, I need help. Your body was saying, I need help. My detox pathways aren't working, and we're going to show up in your skin and show you that something's not going right.
Yeah. And in full transparency, there were even other things that maybe were happening, but I wasn't paying attention to them. Right. And it wasn't until it was like, okay, we're going to come to something that you cannot ignore. You can't ignore this thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because for me, I've become so accustomed to, I just don't sleep well, or,
people accept I'm just a person that's not going to be skinny, or I'm just a person who just is always bloated, or I'm just a person, I have a bad stomach. You shouldn't have to settle. You should not settle. You just shouldn't settle, because that's just a sign that something's not working right, and you should be working on it and fixing it.
Absolutely. The other common sign that you've touched on at several points in this talk is that brain fog. Sometimes just, and brain fog, at least personally for me, it presented itself in terms of just low inspiration or motivation to work. Things that normally simple for me. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, oh, it feels like a drag, but then.
That's almost like depression. And that can definitely be related to your sleep and your food and your blood sugar levels. So whether it's, clinical or subclinical depression, that can be related too.
Wow. And something, sometimes we're so quick to label ourselves as, oh, I have this, or, trigger response, but maybe you just need to
fix it with a pill, right? Fix it with a pill. So what happened if instead of finding me, you're like, oh, I'm low motivation, I'm depressed, so I'm just going to take an antidepressant. That wouldn't have, it's a Band-Aid that probably wouldn't have helped.
Absolutely. So on that topic though, how can someone work with you if they want to work with someone like you? Like, how do they reach you? Where do they start? All of that.
So you can go to my website, robinbarrie.com, ROBINBARRIE.com, or on my Instagram, and you can book a consultation with me that's complimentary, and we talk and find out what's going on with you and go from there.
Awesome. So you mentioned something that, yes, we didn't touch on exercise, and it's something that I want to actually touch on. Honestly, this topic is so big. I feel like we could even do a whole podcast on it.
Totally. But here's the general thing. I ask my clients, do you brush your teeth every day? Do you floss? Everyone knows they have to brush their teeth every day, right? Multiple times a day. Our bodies are made to move. You should be moving every day. The 10,000 step thing is just a very low barometer. Like, we should be moving our bodies because our bodies are supposed to move, right? It helps circulation. It helps build bone density. It helps with mental health. There's so many benefits. It helps with digestion, helps with skin health. Exercise is so important for everything. I mean, yes, I could give you recommendations like general what we should be doing for cardio and what we should be doing for strength. Strength training is very important. A lot of people miss out on that aspect of exercise, but we need to be exercising. You need to find time in your day to at least walk and hopefully be strength training 2 to 4 times a week. General. It's so important.
Wait. Did you just say 10K steps is a low barometer?
Yeah. We should at least be getting, because some people now say 15,000, 20,000. And what's ideal? We're talking ideal. But how many of us, so like, for example, I don't carry my phone around everywhere. I really don't. But sometimes I'll check my steps. I only technically meet my steps on my phone when I go for a long walk. But every day I'm running around, I'm up and down stairs, I'm in and out of my car. Like, I probably do meet my 10,000 steps a day, but I just don't have my phone on me. You can do something as simple as, like, if you have an Apple Watch, of course you can track on there. Men usually have their phone in their pockets. So like, my husband's is always like 20,000 because he works on his feet. But I feel like I need to get a pedometer. You can just clip it on to your pants or your shirt or anywhere, and that's how you can see how active you are. At the low end, 10,000 a day is kind of like the recommended idea of where you should be.
Wow. 10,000 is the minimum you all aim for higher.
Yeah.
Okay. Within exercise, when people want to go exercise, a lot of times they just gravitate towards cardio. Can you please talk about cardio versus strength training? How much of it they should be doing, for energy, for longevity, all of that?
So the 10,000 steps is cardio. Like, that's walking. Walking's cardio. It's healthy for your heart muscle to get cardiovascular exercise. Your heart, your lungs, our major organs. We need that. And most of us get that. If you're moving 10,000 steps a day, that's sufficient. Strength training is important. Building muscle mass. After age 30, we can lose 10% of our muscle mass per decade, which is not good. So we need to maintain it. And how do you maintain that? Number 1, you have to get enough protein. Number 2, you have to do strength training. So that's important as you get older so you don't fall and trip and need a hip replacement. So for health, we need to maintain muscle mass. It's so important to build muscle. And building muscle increases your metabolism and can help with weight loss as well.
Well, there you have it, you all. Okay, so one more thing before you go. Supplements.
Oh, supplements.
Supplements.
Huge topic.
People, yes, huge topic. We can talk about the supplements that you have, where they should get it from, when they should actually have supplements, right? Because you can't out supplement your health, right? You have to first eat well and all of that.
Yes. Like I said, we always start with diet, 3 meals a day, ideally getting most of your nutrients from food. But a supplement is exactly that. It's a supplement to your diet. And I treat each person individually. I will never tell anyone that they need anything before I sit down, speak with them, do some testing, and see what's going on. I don't think there's any one thing that every single person needs. I think it's a very specific individual basis. And just because all the influencers are taking, I don't know, greens or a multi or name another one that everyone's taking, that doesn't mean you need it. Maybe it could be helpful, but just because an influencer says it's helpful doesn't mean it's going to help you. And doesn't mean that's your main issue and you should take that and it's going to be the magic. Nothing is a silver bullet. You have to check all the boxes. There's no magic silver bullet that's going to get you to where you need to be. What
about those IV drips?
Again, that's very specific. What are you getting it for? Did you go out and did you have a bad stomach virus or go out and drink too much one night? Okay, then maybe some IV hydration could be helpful. But just getting it to get it and not necessarily know why you're doing it or what you're doing, not necessarily needed. Individual basis.
So how do you know what you need then?
You work with a professional that can help you.
Like you, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this was really great. I hope you all learned something from this. I definitely did. I mean, I knew I was going to learn something, but I didn't know that I'll have to change my water bottle and get electrolytes. And those are my next two things.
We can talk about that in our next appointment.
I know. Okay. So Robin, before we close, is there anything that you feel we didn't touch on that, you want people to know for maintaining clarity, so not having brain fog, maintaining their mental and physical energy throughout and their focus? Is like from a gut health perspective.
One thing that we didn't really touch upon. Stress relief.
Ooh.
Yeah. Exercise can be that for a lot of people. So a lot of people consider their exercise their meditation. But if exercise either doesn't do that for you, or if you don't find stress relief from exercise, then you gotta find something else. It doesn't have to be formal meditation. It can be whatever you find that you need to find some mental rest and relaxation at some point during the day. It could be watching a TV show. It could be anything that helps you calm down, reading a book or doing a formal meditation, whether it's 30 seconds or half an hour. It's whatever you need. Because again, if you're not doing that and your stress is up, it can cause everything else to go awry in your body.
What are some things that you found your clients use that help apart from meditation or exercise?
Like I said, reading a book, TV show, calling a friend, journaling. Everyone's so different. I like to watch a TV show. I exercise. That's just me though. But I need mindless TV or I read or whatever you need that helps calm your brain and calm your body. So important. It's part of the holistic healing and health.
I totally agree with that. When I work with my own coaching clients, we have this thing called release meditation where it's just maybe up to 20 minutes. And if it's only sometimes 5 minutes that you have just in between tasks or something to just close your eyes and breathe and calm down. And it's just amazing how even when I do it, I'm like,
yes, even just like the 4x4 breathing method, inhale for 4, exhale for 4. Even just doing that, studies show that help calm people that are stressed.
That is so huge. I'm surprised I didn't touch on that from the beginning, but hey, that means a next
I even use that with my kids sometimes. I'm like, just breathe in and out 5 times. It works. It works. It calms your body. It physically calms your body, so it calms your mind.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This was an episode chock full of so much. And I think maybe at this point, we'll just have to pick one of the topics and go deep and then do another episode on that one. Yeah.
Sounds good to
Thank
me.
you so much, Robin.
You're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in to Grow with Kepo. If this episode sparked something for you, subscribe, share it with a friend, and keep growing.